the Victory Bowler Bag by Pin It Up Patterns. I think it's called the Victory Bowler Handbag by Pin It Up Patterns. Brandy and Anna are the designers. This is their 4th pattern, I believe. It is so cute. You've got accent pieces here and here and here. Very cute. You've got hidden connectors. You got purse feet. You have, I just only did shoulder straps. And then on the inside, you have a zipper pocket and 2 slip pockets. The back of the bag has an outside zipper pocket too. Very cute. And you know I use purple. This is Psy Leather from Fabric Funhouse. This purple is eggplant. It's gorgeous. Simply gorgeous. And the yellow is, I think it's called Buttercup. I'll link it in the description below. From Sew Yours is the yellow. It's beautiful. And then I just use waterproof canvas for the lining. Go get the pattern and let's make the Victory Bowler Handbag by Pin It Up Patterns. Thanks for watching. Let's get started. Hi everyone, this is Barbie with Jeannie's Designs. And I'm getting ready to do a brand new pattern by Pin It Up Patterns. Brandy and Anna, I think this is their 4th pattern, I believe. And it's called the Victory Bowler Handbag. Look at that. It is going to be so cute. Finished measurements are 13 inches wide by 9 inches high by 5 deep. And they say it's an adventurous beginner. Very cute. So before this, you'll see what mine looks like. Here are the fabrics that I'm using. I'm using this. This is from Sew Yours. It's gorgeous. I'll link it in the description below. This is what I'm using for my lining. It's a lightweight waterproof canvas. And then for my accent pieces, I'm using this gorgeous purple. It's called Psy Leather. This is from Fabric Funhouse. Now, I have a wholesale account with Fabric Funhouse, so I get her stuff, her cork and her faux leather at a pretty good discount. So when I buy it, I usually buy quite a bit. This is gorgeous, gorgeous purple. So that's what I'm using. And I'm only doing shoulder straps. I'm not going to do a crossbody. I know, I'm stepping out of my norm. But we're going to start with the shoulder straps, and then we'll proceed with the pattern. This pattern releases today, which is October 5th. So by the time my video releases, you should be able to go purchase the pattern. So Pin It Up Patterns, the Victory Bowler Bag. All right, let's get started. Okay, we're going to start with our strap connectors. So I have 4 of these. For my crossbody strap, and I just divided them down the middle, put a piece of double-sided tape, and then we're going to fold those raw edges in. So I'm going to do 1, and then I'll repeat it 3 more times. I am using a lavender thread, and it's Tex 45. Sticking to me, it's sticking to me. That's funny. Now, I believe these are going to be hidden connectors, so that's what I understand from reading through the pattern. So, I have 4 square rings. And the connector on the square ring goes on the inside with my raw edge. And I'm just going to clip these together for now because we will be putting them in differently. So I'm going to repeat that with all 3 remaining connectors, and I'll do that on fast forward. So I'm going to do my shoulder strap. So I have 2 pieces. One is a little narrower than the underneath piece. On both of these pieces, I am going to divide it down the middle and make a line, and then I'm going to add some double-sided tape and fold that in. So that's what I'm going to do on both of these pieces. And then on the top accent piece, which is this, I'm going to lay that centered on my bottom piece, wrong sides together. That way there's no raw edges showing, and we have a nice double-sided shoulder strap. I kind of like it. These 2 fabrics are just stunning as well. So the underneath piece is always just about a 1/2 inch wider. That leaves you a 1/4 inch on each side of your accent piece, if that makes sense. She gives you the dimensions in the pattern. Although I'm doing mine just a hair different because I think she has raw edge and I didn't want raw edge. So I'm just going to tell you because this is no secret, really. So I am making my bottom piece, which is my purple. This is 2 inches. I am going to fold this into the center. I'll just do one whole with you. So we're going to fold this into the center. That gives us a 1 inch piece. 2 inches, divided in half long ways, fold it into the center, gives you a 1 inch piece. I don't know if you can hear Jackie out there. She's panting. She knows I have animal crackers in here, because before I came in here, I gave her one. And she's like, is one all I get? Is that it? Really? All right, then I'm going to fold that in. That's going to give us the 1 inch piece. She knows she's not really allowed in here unless she's invited. So she sits right outside the door, even if the door's open. Isn't she a good dog? She's a good dog. Oh. Okay, so there's my underneath piece, and it's 1 inch. Now let's take our accent piece, which is going to be on top, and we're going to just repeat that. It will end up being a little narrower because this is a 1.5 inch piece. So it'll end up being a 1/2 inch smaller. That way we see the purple on top. This Buttercup, I think it's called Buttercup from Sew Yours. I haven't sewn with it yet. It's gorgeous though. You know, and I only have 1 roll because I bought it when it first came out, and I've been hoarding it. And I thought, oh my gosh, this would be a perfect bag for this. So that's what I'm doing. These double-sided straps are a little time-consuming, but in the long run, they're so worth it. Now, I would never do a double-sided strap if I was doing, like, making a bunch of the same bag. It just is too time-consuming. if I was making bags to sell at like a craft fair and I wanted to make 10 of this particular bag, yeah, I would never do the double-sided. It just is too time consuming. Although if you have a lot of time, you can add extra dollars for it because it does take you more time. And it's a different look. I didn't get this folded in very good here. I think that's okay. All right, now I'm going to add another piece of double-sided tape on the inside, trying to stay out of my seam allowance, my top stitching. You really could use a 1/4 inch here. I should have. Okay. Now take this piece and with your seam up, we're going to take this piece with the seam down and just add that right in the center so it's pretty even on both sides. It's so pretty. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? So you have no raw edges showing. Right now I'm just going to top stitch that. And if you notice, I do always go across the ends because I'm going to put caps on this, strap-in caps. And I want it to be nice and flat, so there you go. So that's what it looks like from the back, and that's what it looks like from the front. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. All right, I'm going to repeat that with this other shoulder strap, and I'll do that on fast forward. So I'm going to add strap ends to these shoulder straps. Measure to make sure both of these are the same length, which I just did, and they were, one was a little longer, so I just trimmed it. And then these are my strap ends that I carry on my website. The one thing you want to do is always, before you put your straps on, make sure it's going to fit through whatever you're putting it on. So these are my strap connectors, my square rings, and they fit fine with them on. Otherwise, you'd have to wait to put them on your strap ends until you got them connected. So just a word to the wise. Ask me how I know. I mean, you can take these off, but it's, you know, you don't like to have to redo anything. It just makes it take so much longer. All right, so I'm adding a matte rainbow strap end with the screws on the inside of my strap. Nice and snug. Tiny, tiny baby screws. Okay, there's those two. Let's do it on the other side. Perfect. So now we have gorgeous strap ends on both of our shoulder straps. And I made mine, she gives you two options for length. I made mine the longer, just FYI. I don't like to struggle getting things on and off shoulders, so I went ahead and did them long. All right, now we're gonna do our bottom. Let me grab my pieces. All right, so a couple things with the bottom. I am gonna put the purse feet in, and she tells you where to mark for those, and I just punched my holes. But before I put those in, I am going to do a square around because I want to secure my Peltex, which is what I used. And I'm going to pull this thread to the back. Now, to get off my leather marking, I'm just going to put a tiny bit of machine oil on a rag and just wipe it off. Comes off very easily that way. And that oil doesn't stay on there. It dries. Okay, now let's put our feet on. Where did I put my feet? Now, I'm living a little dangerously. I have this thread lock blue, and I'm going to get a piece of paper. Because when it comes to glue, I am a little bit of a third grader. I know you've heard me say that before, but I am. So what I'm doing is I'm putting the screw part on the underside. And then if this works out right and I don't get it everywhere, I'm just gonna put a tiny dab in the inside of there, and then I'm gonna screw it on. You really want, I need a little bigger screwdriver. And I gotta hold that. But I have used purse feet for a long time. And I just recently, and she was a friend actually, one of them fell out. Now, she was able to find it, and I told her just to put a little more glue on it. But I've never had purse feet fall out. Ever. Until that. Now, if you didn't have Peltex here, you would want to put an extra piece of stabilizer. Because you don't want anything sticking up. All right. So the first time I used this blue glue, I got it everywhere. I mean, it was everywhere. I didn't like it one iota. So you don't have to use this kind of glue. Just any glue will probably be fine. You just want to glue these on. Okay, one more. Okay, let's put the cap on this glue and get rid of it. Very scary. And let's just tighten these. I'm going to actually just tighten them by hand. And just get them nice and tight. And then that glue should really solidify them. They're not going to go anywhere. So there's your 4 pieces. You could put 5. She just calls for 4. And that's all I decided to do. All right, next time. All right, so the next is we're going to take our bottom piece and we're going to attach our side gussets. You do have pretty good seam allowances in this pattern, which I love personally. Oh, please. All right, let's show those together at the seam allowance in the pattern. And we're going to fold that over with the seam going down towards the bottom and top stitch on the bottom. Okay, we're going to repeat that on this side. really pretty. Now, we are going to use this piece as a template to cut our foam, which is a very unique way to do a pattern, and I actually don't mind it. So I'm going to go cut my piece of foam for this, and then we will attach it. All right, so I had cut my foam out really rough, and I'm just going to baste that all the way around. So on your lining pieces, we're going to repeat that. Not with foam, but we're going to put our bottom piece and our side gussets together. And we're going to sew those. I don't think we changed the, let me just look real quick. I don't think we changed the seam allowance. Nope. All right, so take your A piece, and I'm doing it on the back. Take your pattern piece and mark where you want your V-shape accent to be. And we're gonna cut this piece out. So I just flipped it and attached it and marked it. That's all I've done. You could cut two of these pieces and make it one piece if you wanted to. A lot of people do that. And then we're just going to cut that. I know it feels weird. You do have a little wiggle room because your accent piece that you cut according to the pattern is bigger. But you want this to be nice and even. So that's why I'm using a rotary cutter instead of scissors for the most part. Let me see, I'll cut this with scissors. Rotary cutters just give you a nicer edge than a pair of scissors does. Now I'm doing the purple as my accent. So and I am not edge coating. Not today, not on this first one. I might on a subsequent one. So there's the piece you cut out. And that's what it looks like. Oh my gosh, that looks so good, you guys. All right, let me grab my accent. All right, so here's my accent piece. I think I cut mine way too big. I think when she tells you to cut it bigger than the piece that you cut out, it means total, not on each side. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna put the top on first. And you're gonna have to find what works best for you. This works best for me, to put it on this way. Well, you know, I say that and then I'm just not sure. Let me see. see how that looks. You don't want it pulling or bunching anywhere. There we go, that's better. Now I'm going to take the tape off the bottom. And kind of like a zipper overlay, it should lay pretty flat. We'll see. We'll see, I've never done this before. I like it though. Yeah. Look at that. Now this is bunching a little and I'm not really sure why. There we go. Now we're gonna stitch all the way around there, I believe. Let me check. All right, so now you're gonna take your corner pieces and we're gonna add those to the bottom. So I have double-sided tape on each edge. And we're gonna affix those in the corners.
Tony and Barb Taylor are emergency home.
All right, so I have this corner on, and now I'm just gonna do the same thing with this corner. And my guess is if you don't want to do these accents, you don't have to. Although that's part of this bag is these accent pieces. You know, they're trying to do most of their patterns with a retro flair, and that's what these are. I did go ahead and put my tag there. Okay, so that's that side. Then on this back piece, we're gonna have a zipper panel. So I turned this over and I marked for my zipper panel. And I'm gonna repeat that and cut that out. This time I am going to use a pair of scissors. Not a pair of scissors, a ruler. And then I'll finish it with my scissors. Then we are going to add our foam. Now I have an overlay for this, so I probably didn't need to do this, but that's okay. And on this side, I'm going to put It's a Beautiful Thing tag in purple. And I'm just going to center that down here, but I got to mark my center. So if you haven't done it yet, mark all your centers. Top, bottom, everywhere. Now, this bag also comes, there's two patterns actually. They're selling them separately. Let me see. One is a turned birth version and one is a bound version. And I am doing the bound version. I prefer bound bags. I personally don't like to struggle with having to turn things. So I'm going to put this tag on and my other tag. Pull those threads to the back. Now I always put my tags on with a 2.5 inch stitch length. Let me go down. I just think it looks better myself. You don't have to do that, but I think it looks better and I like it. Pull that to the back and tie those off. Now what you're seeing me do here is I am evening up my tie strings. It just makes it so much easier to tie things off if your threads are even. I have struggled forever with getting these ties correct, and it's partly because my threads were always uneven, and I thought there has to be a better way. And sure enough, there is. Okay, there's the It's a Beautiful Thing. And let's do this one. I thought this needed just a touch of pink, because there's a bunch of pink in here. Pull that to the back. Even up your threads. Tie them off. It's a beautiful thing. See how much faster that is? I'm telling you, evening off your threads, that's what does it. So much faster. All right, now on this side, we're going to add our foam. And I just rough cut my foam. And we're gonna stitch around that, and then we're gonna stitch around our appliques. There is those appliques finished. I'm just looking at it. I like it. It's cute. Next step. All right, so you shouldn't have cut this out. If you did, don't worry about it, because we're putting a zipper overlay here. So you really are just marking where your zipper overlay goes from your pattern piece. This is fine. It just saves me from cutting it out, really. Now you don't have to do an overlay. You could not do it. Okay, so there's my overlay. Now we're gonna put our corner pieces down here again. And my tape is coming off. think it's easier to take the edge piece of tape off and put it on first, but you need to do you. I think it's easier. And you just want to get it on there nice and flat. And then take the other piece of tape off on the inner side. Perfect. Let's repeat that over here on this side. Okay. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to put our foam on next. And this is just a rough cut of foam. So I'm going to attach this next, and then I'm going to cut a pretty good size piece out of there. All right, so let's take our exterior zipper pieces, zipper pocket pieces. Take your zipper. Goodness gracious. And lay this right side up on top of the right side of your zipper. And let's just face that in place. I'm going to just do my zippers the way I... Oh my gosh, Barb. Speedy Gonzalez. Okay, and then I'm going to fold that over and top stitch it flat. I think I need to oil my machine. It's making a lot of racket. Okay, and we're going to repeat that with our other side. Just making sure our sides are lined up this time. And repeat. Okay, and now we're going to fold that over and base that down. Okay. I am going to cut off this excess zipper here because it's got tape on it for one thing. It's getting caught everywhere. All right. Take your zipper overlay, and I'm going to add a couple more pieces of tape. I'm going to go get some double-sided tape out of my stash. I'm almost out of 1/4 and 1/8 inch. Yeah, there you go. That's it. Okay. Now let's take off one side, and we're going to add that into our overlay. Okay, that's pretty even. All right, now take out the other double-sided tape. Oh my, that looks perfect actually. Wow. All right. Let's stitch around the inside, and we're going to pull those threads to the back. Tie those off. Goodness gracious, that got caught in my stitching over here. There we go. All right, let's trim these to the same length and tie those off. See how much easier this is? Oh my gosh, I don't know why I did it. I struggled with it before so much. It was ridiculous. All right, there we go. Now, we are going to close this zipper pocket, so we're just going to pull that down. This is the outside zipper pocket, so it doesn't need to remain open. Trim it off if you have excess, which you probably will, about 1 inch. Right side up, fold it over, and stitch. pretty good sized pocket, really. If you cut your zipper tape, go ahead and burn that just a little. Perfect. Nice big zipper pocket for your phone or whatever you want. Okay. Next step. All right, so take your pattern piece, and they have a little spot for your strap connector, and I just flipped it over, and I've got both of them marked on this piece, and then I'm going to repeat that on the front piece. These are hidden connectors, by the way, which is a good skill for every bag maker to have. I haven't done them in a while, so we shall see. Okay, there we go. Now I do have this little tool. This is from Jolie Lee Creation, my friend Leslie at Jolie Lee Creations. She has little templates for 1 inch, 3/4, and 1/2 inch hidden connectors. So if I remember how to do it, this is how you want, I believe. Let me just double check. All right, so if you have a tool, if you don't, just go by her measurements, but I marked mine, so I just lay my 1 inch tool here on the line, and then I mark up and over. I don't know if you can even see that. So up and over. And this is your cut line. I know. Grab an X-Acto knife or scissors or whatever you have. And that's the only place we're going to cut. Up on both sides and across that top line. I'm going to use a little scissors too. The foam makes it a little more challenging, just saying. I will be cutting the foam away from there. Okay. So that's what you have, just a little tab. And I'm gonna do one, I'll probably do two just to show you guys, because it can be confusing. So on each of your tabs, she tells you to make 2 marks. We're gonna take the mark that's closest to the end. Just getting rid of some of these. Probably not necessary. So this one that's closest to the end, and we're going to stick that down inside. Let me read because I want to see what she's. All right, so I finished one, and it really is not hard. So on this mark, put it down in the hole, but push your tab down, and we're gonna stitch right on this other line here. I know it feels weird, but that's what you do. Only inside the tab. Don't stitch outside the tab. Okay, so that's what you have right now. There's a little stitch line right there. Now add your ring, your D-ring, and then we're going to push that tab that's outside down inside and pull it down and pull it nice and snug. Don't over pull it. Then we're going to turn this over, pull your front piece down and away, and we're going to stitch on that tab on both of our rings. Make sure you're not going to stitch on your ring you're using. Okay. Again, just on the tab, not outside the tab. Okay. Now, what I like to do is I like to pull it over just like this and do another row of stitches right there so it stays secure. Okay, I'll show you. Okay, so I just pulled this top piece out of the way and just did a row of stitches just on my tabs. Then we're gonna add a rivet right there, just as a little extra security. You could add two if you wanted to. I don't think it needs it, but okay. So there you have your two square ring connectors. So I'm going to repeat that, and I'll do it with you, but I probably won't talk through it. Let me press this one. That just really secures those. Those look really good. All right, so I did cut my little tab here on both sides, and I just cut away the foam, just enough to keep it out of my way. All right, so those are done. They really look pretty good. All right. 4 hidden connectors. Now we're going to do our inside slip pocket. This is just one long piece, folded right sides together, and we're going to stitch up each side. And then we'll turn it right side out. Okay. I'm just going to trim my corner pretty close here so I can get a decent turned corner. And then we'll add our trim piece. Now I'm gonna iron it. Let me just get my iron hot. Okay, let me go iron it. All right, now I'm gonna just baste that top open, close, 1/8 of an inch. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. In fact, I went off, but it doesn't matter. That's funny. Take your trim piece. I divided it down the middle and put 2 pieces of double-sided tape. And we're just going to add this. I made mine too long, so don't worry about that. Take the tape off the other side and fold it down nice and evenly. Oops. There we go. And then top stitch that. And then we'll trim off the excess on each side without cutting our pocket. Perfect. Grab one of your lining pieces. Mark your centers. And let's see what she tells you to. So a certain distance up from the bottom. Okay. Centered. Grab my couple magnets here. Okay, and let's stitch that on. Now these are so tight magnets, very handy for stuff like this when you don't want to use pens. It's sewtight.com. They're just magnets that keep your fabric in place when you're sewing it rather than using pens. I love them. Now I am going to make some of this into a pen pocket. So I'm going to measure over, let me see. Yeah. I'm going to measure over 2.5 inches. I honestly don't know what she tells you to in the pattern. But I'm measuring over 2.5 inches, and we're going to stitch up from the bottom and go back down. From one stitch and go back down. Okay, and that's it. Easy slip pocket. And it looks really cute with the trim on it. Next step. All right, let's do the interior zipper overlay. So here's my overlay. And I marked the center, which you probably can't see. And then we're going to measure down the distance she tells us in the pattern. And we're going to lay that overlay right there. Take off the other side of our tape. Oh, isn't that going to be pretty right there? I just love it. Now I'm going to stitch around the outside of that. Now let's do our pocket exactly the same way we did it last time. And this is going to be bound, so we are not going to leave this open. If you're doing the birthing method, you would leave this zipper pocket open. But we are not for this one. I'm just going to trim that up. Okay, turn it right side up, stitch it closed. Trim your zipper and then burn your zipper ends. I kind of feel like I'm a broken record here. Rinse and repeat. Okay, now you have your inside zipper pocket. It's not a huge pocket, but it's plenty. Okay. Now, I'm guessing that we will put these two together, but just 1 second. All right, so we're gonna take our back piece with the zipper and our lining piece with the zipper pocket, and we're gonna put those wrong sides together because I'm doing the binding method. And we're just gonna clip those together, basting them all the way around. All right, so now we have those. We're going to do our zipper gusset. So here is my outside, my exterior. Let me grab, oh, here I have some 1/4 inch. Let's just use this. 1/4 inch double-sided tape on the exterior right side up. And I did go ahead and put 2 zipper pulls on. And we're gonna lay this right side down, our zipper. Right side down. I'm stuck to it. Okay. Then I'm going to add another piece of double-sided tape to that. And I'm going to attach my lining. So I will do basically one stitch rather than two. But you can certainly baste that exterior on if you wanted to. And then add your lining. Completely up to you. I personally think it's just easier to do it this way. Okay, I'm going to take my lining piece right side down. And get that on there nice and straight. And then we'll do our full seam allowance. Which is, let me look. Okay. I'm getting close to my zipper pull, so I'm just going to move those out of the way. If I can. There we go. And then we're going to fold those wrong sides together. And stitch, top stitch next to the zipper and baste the other sides closed. Okay, so I'm going to do this side top stitching first. Perfect. Now we're going to repeat that with this other side. All right, so take your gusset pieces. So here's my exterior gusset, and I have it attached to the right side here. I'm going to do them both at the same time, so I'm taking my lining gusset and I'm attaching those right side down with the lining. Now I'm not doing a crossbody strap, so I did not put the crossbody strap in here. Note this seam allowance is a little different, so keep that in mind. All that double side tape, my needle's getting a little goopy. Okay. Now we're gonna fold those right sides out, so wrong sides together, and we're gonna top stitch. Oops, I got that in the wrong spot. Top stitch on the gusset. I was just verifying. I'm sure she said to top stitch, but I didn't read it, and so I just had to go look and read it. So we're gonna top stitch on the bottom, or on the side gusset, really. Okay. And we're going to repeat that with this other side. Now I am going to, I have a little extra zipper tape over here, which I'm just going to trim off. Don't need it. And we're going to put that. Then we're going to bring our lining gusset right sides together with our lining. Okay. And sew that together at the seam allowance in the pattern. I'm going to do it from this side. Oh, I just ran out of bobbin. How providential is that? Huh. All right, let me wind a new bobbin. All right, so I clipped my bottom gusset, my side and bottom gusset, but now I need to top stitch here next to my zipper. So let me do that before we do the basting of the bottom. Now let's just baste the bottom gusset together. All right, so put your zipper gussets together and mark your centers on the top and the bottom of both your zipper gusset and your bottom gusset. Okay, so find your centers. Turn it wrong side out, and then you can do either. I don't think she cares which one. I think she has to do the back first, but I don't think it matters really. Just make sure you have your centers marked, and I think I have my center marked, but it got trimmed just a little. So let's do it again. Now, so we're going to put our bottom attached to our bottom. And here again, I'm putting the flat part of my clip next to this side, because I'm going to sew the gusset with the gusset side up. Okay, so I did the bottom, and now I'm going to do the top. Make sure your square rings are out of the way. And we are going to have to clip this, so I'm just going to be a little proactive and clip my corners. You do have a fairly decent seam allowance, so just keep that in mind. Remember, we don't ever want to clip more than half our seam allowance. And we always clip the gusset. Okay, here we go. And you can do this with your zipper unzipped. I probably will unzip it. Here in a second. Once you clip it, it really fits perfectly, honestly. Wow. Yeah. You never know how things are gonna fit. You know, this is something funny. Even these narrow clips, the red ones open wider. Why is that? On my regular Wonder Clips, the red ones open, and on these narrow ones that I have, they open wider. That is something. I don't understand it, but it's true. See these narrow little ones? See how wide they open? I don't get it. I don't. It's a phenomenon. I bet somebody knows the answer, though. Why that would be the case. Okay. There we go. Now we're going to sew this together. Oh dear. Did you see that? Good thing I didn't have her make clips in there. Add the seam allowance in the pattern. And I'm going to start on the bottom. Well, that looks really pretty good. There might be a pucker or two, but I'm not surprised with this vinyl at all. All right, let's add the other side. Same scenario. Oops, no center mark. Same scenario. Just make sure that you clip it good. And check the seam allowance, because the seam allowance for this is different. All right, so just like with any binding method that I've done recently, I am stretching this all the way around, and I'm pulling it pretty taut, not real taut, but I'm just holding it as I go. And then I get it to there, and then I know that that's gonna be good. So I take it off, and we put right sides together, and we're gonna stitch that together. Trim it up, cut your corners off just a little bit like that. Oop. Okay, and then let's put it on. See how we did. Now you could, if you wanted to, use double side tape here, but I don't think it's necessary. So if I did it right, well, it'll be nice and snug all the way around. Which is what you want. I did, by the way, I did trim my seams by about half. It was very bulky because I left my foam in the seam allowance. So, it's pretty bulky. So again, I am doing it from the gusset side up. So I'm putting the flat. Oh, that's gonna be perfect. The flat of my clips against the bed of the machine. It just fits perfect. Now you say, why wouldn't I measure that and just use it for the other side? Well, you could. I find that sometimes, even though they're the same, supposedly the same size, they aren't. And the time it takes for me to just measure is minuscule in case and getting it right. Just my 2 cents. More than likely it would be fine. So if you want to do it that way, it would probably be fine. I'm just saying. For me, it takes me less than a minute to get a good measurement. So, and my measurement is actually perfect. So I'm just going around and adding some clips. Whoa. Did you see that? That one broke. It's a good thing I wear glasses because I'm telling you, sometimes these clips are just fly off. It's almost like you need to wear safety goggles when you sew and you use clips. Gosh. All right. Let's see. Let me get all my trash. Let's do it. Let me just make sure I got it pretty even all the way around. Okay, good. All right, here we go. right, here we go. All right, let's see how we did. Oh, I missed one spot right there. Not a big deal. Let's fix it. Stinker. It was right in the beginning too. Or the end, I can't tell. That's it. You guys, there was a doorbell on the TV out there, and I thought it was my doorbell. I'm like, who's here at this late hour? All right. There we go. Beautiful. Let's turn it. Here we go. Really shouldn't be hard to turn. Looks really good. Not one pucker. There's a tiny pucker down there, tiny. Very cute. All right, let me poke everything out here real good. There's actually, this corner has no puckers. This one has one tiny pucker. I'm good with that. The tops have no puckers. Very cute. All right, let's add our straps. And so what I did was use my Jolie Lee Creation rivet guide, and I put the end of it where it says C right next to my strap in, and then I'm using A and C this time, so I don't have to struggle with where my rivet goes. So I already punched my holes. I'm gonna put my strap, let me see if you can see, up and through like this. I'm gonna add a rivet right there and add a cap. Dropping things left and right. Okay, and just before you do anything, make sure you're not twisting. So the wrong side goes up and through. Find your holes. And add your cap. So that's what you should have. See how it's a good size handle. That's another reason I used A and C, because I knew I had plenty of room on these shoulder straps. Okay. So here's my handle. Without twisting it, I'm going up through this and back down. Finding my rivet holes. I can't remember last time I did a bag and I didn't add a crossbody. Very unusual for me. I just didn't think this bag called for it. All right, let me go press those. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, turn this off. It's very bright. Here it is. It is the cutest little bag. So this is considered the back. This is considered the front with those accents. You got purse feet. It's actually a pretty good sized bag. And then on the inside, you have a zipper with a zipper overlay and 2 slip pockets on this side. But look at how big that is. I would say it's a medium bag. I really would. It's a good size bag. Let me stand up so you can see how it sits on the shoulder. Look at that. That's perfect. I have a jacket on because I was cold, now I'm hot. The Victory Bag by Pin It Up Patterns just released today. It is adorable. Now, a couple things that I probably would do different for next time. The Victory Bowler Handbag by Pin It Up Patterns. I did the bound version. So right here, it is pretty thick. So I would trim this seam. You know how we trim seams to the corner so they're not very thick right there? So I would trim those. I didn't do it. I would definitely edge paint these accent pieces. It's not too bad. I did not put foam in my gusset top, and I don't think it needs it. And even though I have an industrial, I would probably leave the foam out of the seam allowance. And here's the reason why. Because when you do a bound bag, that foam makes those edges really thick. So I would leave the foam out of the seam allowance if you're doing the bound version. Now if you're doing the turned version, it probably wouldn't matter. Maybe I should try and leave the foam in and do the turned version. I don't think this bag would be too hard to turn, really, because you could leave this whole bottom one side open. So that's not really too bad. I love the hidden strap connectors. I love that. I haven't done those in a while. There you go. The Victory Bowler handbag by Pin It Up Patterns. Absolutely adorable. I think it's a perfect bag for shoulder straps only, not a crossbody. But I think crossbody would also be nice. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Go grab the pattern. I'll link the pattern in the description below. And thank you, Brandy and Anna. You did it's another A+++. Thanks. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.